Hey everyone, Pat Mesiti here, and we're just making sure that all systems are go here on our Facebook. We've been having all kinds of challenges, and if you're wondering who's sitting next to me, let me tell you, today, this guy, Jonathan Jobe, how are you, Jonathan?
Good, thanks, Pat. Great to be here.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah.
Look, I'm really fired up today because a friend of ours that we know, I cannot mention his name, but a major bank just recently completely shut down his bank accounts. And then money is gone. God knows where it's gone. No answers. But he relied on a strategy, which we're going to talk about, that really saved his butt financially.
Yeah.
And I know many of you out there are concerned about our world. This week, what a disaster, Jonathan. What's your take on what's been happening right now financially?
Yeah, that's right. It's just the Federal Reserve and the governments, the way that they've handled this money printing through COVID and in the last 10 years has just been absolutely atrocious. And now you and I are the ones that have to pay for that. You know, we have to see rising interest rates. We have to see rising unemployment, all because of the way someone else handled the financial.
Correct. And you know what's interesting? Pensioners, and I know we've got a lot of wonderful elderly people that watch this show. You know, the amount of money they're giving them, this rise that's happening on the 20th, isn't enough. It's almost below the poverty line. And the people that need help the most are getting help the least. Through inflation's through the roof because of their spending and because of their inability to really help the average Australian or anyone globally. And you know what gets me, Jonathan? These politicians don't live the way that you and I have to live.
No, that's right. Yeah, the average person, you need to be making an additional 15% a year just to keep up with inflation. Just not even to get a pay rise, just to be on the same sort of money that you're on each year, a 15% pay rise. And I can tell you right now, 99.9% of people are not getting a 15% pay rise per year.
Not going to happen. Electricity's going through the roof. Of course, we're still waiting for our $275 rebate. Hello, Mr. Albanese, where are you? Jetting off to the UK, bringing a whole bunch of people with you on our tab, I might add. Not that I'm against that. Just wondering if that's the right thing to do, but we'll leave it alone. Of course, all expenses paid, and we'll leave that alone. But Jonathan, our friend that is a speaker, his assets taken away, and he relied on a strategy. Now, I want to say this right up front. We want to help you guys in the financial arena. Before this ever was a spiritual platform, well, it's always been a spiritual platform, but we had this to help people financially. And I know there's a lot of negative stuff out there about crypto. Let me just say this. Jonathan is a leading expert working with the likes of Harry Dent, working with the likes of Kiyosaki's, I believe. He was on the phone to the Kiyosaki's this morning.
Yes, that's right.
And especially for people of faith, they've got this thing, Jonathan, where they think that crypto and Bitcoin, it's all part of the new global financial new world order. Can you help them? Because we cannot base our lives on false narratives, and that's one of them. Jonathan, you're a believer. You've been a youth pastor and a leader. Up in Maryborough, I got to add. And by the way, Jonathan has an amazing story. 3 children, 2 of them severely autistic. 2 of them. And he had to find a way to be able to give them a life, support them, and help them, and he still have time with these boys. And you came across crypto as a strategy.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's deal firstly, I'm fired up because I've got you here today live.
That's okay.
Let's deal firstly with this whole myth about how crypto is part of the one world currency agenda.
Yeah, that's right. Well, see, the whole point of the one world currency and one world government is that it's controlled by a central entity that then can control who gets money where, how they deal with their money, and all of that. Cryptocurrency is actually the complete opposite of that. Okay, the one world government, one world currency, that is centralized. Cryptocurrency is decentralized. It was actually invented, it was brought forward because of the 2008 financial crisis, where again banks and governments mishandled money, and a lot of very smart people said, okay, we can't handle this. We could go into our bank tomorrow and there'll be no money left, just like our friend the other day. And this is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is here to give power back to the people. Kiyosaki calls it the people's money, and he's 100% correct.
And Jonathan, tell us a little bit about your story. An amazing story. Youth leader, youth worker, and really tell us a bit about your journey and what investing in crypto, because crypto right now, people go, oh, it's down and it's dropped. Yes, but when do you want to buy property? When the market's through the roof or when it's down? People don't get investments. Can you speak about that and tell us a bit about your story?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, my story, as Pat said, I was living in Maryborough. And had 3 kids. 2 of them were autistic, went through a painful divorce and separation, and ended up living back in my parents' garage. And I decided to get my life together, start working as hard as I could, and I started working in the car industry. I became very, very successful in the car industry, but I burnt out because I was trading my time for money. Okay, I had to work 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-hour days. I completely burnt out.
Wow.
And then I had to start all over again for the second time.
Wow.
And I decided that, well, number one is anyone out there who has to deal with people with a disability knows that any sort of government help, it's not really help, okay? So I had to ask myself, how can I do this? 1, without burning out. 2, so I have time for my kids. And 3, so I have enough money to look after them now and after I'm gone. And so they're not a burden on anyone else. And so that's when I started on this journey. And that's when I ended up finding these strategies with cryptocurrency that allow me now to only have to work an hour a day, focus on the things I love with the people that I love. I get to retire my wife. She doesn't have to work. And we get to focus on our kids, go on holidays, and do great things here with Pat to help others do the same.
So, Jonathan, what do you say to people when they say, oh, crypto's on the nose and blah, blah, blah? Because people, they run to it when it's going through the roof.
Yeah.
That's where they're making the mistake.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's that fear of missing out that seems to get people into cryptocurrency, which is not good, because the fear of missing out only happens when it's near the top. Okay, the time to buy is when it's near the bottom. Right. Now, if you've done any sort of research, you don't have to dig very deep to see that we're actually at a really crucial point. Yeah. We're actually at a similar point in 2017 where we had a massive boom in cryptocurrency. In fact, there was 3, you could have done $5,000 investment, would have turned into over $60 million just in 12 months.
Wow.
In 2017,
right.
Okay? And now we're at a very crucial point, and a very, very similar point to 2017. The difference is we've now got countries and financial institutions, and all these people are flooding into cryptocurrency right now. So we could see a boom even bigger that eclipses the 2017.
So right now, folks, we're living in a pretty scary time. I mean, with this coming of this new king, who's really a child of the World Economic Forum, not showing any disrespect, but I have such contempt for that organisation and the people in it and their control over people. We're living in some pretty scary times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Economically, spiritually, it's like the writing on the wall. And here's the thing: we as people that have any kind of faith, and I know I've got a multi-faith on here, and of course I've got agnostics and atheists, and that's okay. But one thing I do know is everybody wants financial freedom, and they want freedom.
Yeah.
That's why when these mandates came out, this thing went through the roof. And part of the battle, if you give them the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Now, Sunday we're starting our rallies in Bow Desert, and we're going to go through the roof up there at Harvest Point. We're going to be speaking there every day, different sessions, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for a whole week. My great friend Steve Penny is coming in. But I wanted to do an encore. I had Jonathan speak to our database yesterday, and it went absolutely ballistic, didn't it, Jonathan?
Yeah, absolutely. Great response.
Unbelievable. And people just so excited from what they learned. So I've asked Jonathan to give us 90 minutes of his time this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for an encore. Are you up for it?
Absolutely, I'll definitely be there. And what I'm going to share with you guys is the 2 ways to capitalize on cryptocurrency. One strategy, you can make money whether the price goes up or down. In fact, when it goes down, you can actually make more money quickly.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And the other one is, as I said, back in 2017, when cryptocurrency exploded, and you could have turned that 5,000 into 68 million, I've actually gone in and dissected what are the reasons why those certain cryptocurrencies exploded. And we've actually put together a formula that has served us very, very well. And I'm going to share that exact formula on that webinar for your members.
And what I love, Jonathan, how you were teaching people, and they were doing it there live, and they could see how they could really make some money. We're not talking necessarily millions, but to get ahead of this inflation demon that we're facing. So my spots on the webinar are limited to 200 people. That's it. That's all we can take. We had literally 500 registered yesterday. So people could not get on. If you want a spot, you need to go now, Saturday morning. It's mesiti.com/JJ. It'll be in the link here. We'll put it in the chat. mesiti.com/JJ, and secure your spot right now for Saturday morning. And don't forget, Sunday morning, 9 a.m., Reborn. I'm going to speak on spiritual malnutrition and how we can overcome that. And it's going to be a very powerful message, and also on persevering. But Saturday morning, 11 a.m., 90 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
90 minutes to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Folks, these are serious times. And if we're using yesterday's methods in today's world, we're not going to have it tomorrow. We need to occupy until he comes. We need to be in there, in the trenches, building a future for ourselves and our children and our children's children. The banks are not your friend. The government certainly is not your friend. We have to rely on each other and each other's experiences, Jonathan, and each other's knowledge. So is there anything you want to add before we close off today?
I think it's worth exploring cryptocurrency. I think it's worth coming on Saturday just to learn about it, even if it's just a way for you to be able to store money without putting it in the hands of banks and other institutions. Just learning how to take back control of your own money is extremely important, extremely important. And if that's the only thing you learn, then you've learned more than enough. And
I think we're giving away one Ethereum coin.
Yes.
One Ethereum coin valued at 1,700 USD. It's going to show you how you can work that and how you can advance yourself financially. Jonathan, thanks for taking time out.
Pleasure. Great to be here, Pat. Thanks for having me on.
And we'll see you Saturday morning, 11 a.m. sharp. God bless you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.